the executive, members of the Parliamentary Legal Services, State Law Advisors, and the Home Affairs legal team. We are today going to receive the C list for purpose of adoption.
Recording in progress.
On the issues that we've interacted on. I want to check, Mr. Matonsi, before we then move, whether two issues members will also guide for the state law advisor to read only the amendments we've made so that we don't take time. Already, other clauses have been resolved on. Secondly, to check the possibility of adopting the C list and the D list so that once they are presented, we're clear on the process. I know that the D list needs to be subjected to the printing process, then so that we also allow members to interact with their traveling. Can I get a sense, Mr. Matonsi, as to what do we need to do to consider before I invite Chief State Law Advisor?
Okay, Chairperson, yeah, today we're supposed to be adopting the C list as you indicated. And then from there on Friday is to go clause by clause and vote on all of them, and then also adopt the report as well as the bill, the D bill. So I think we still need to do that on Friday, Chairperson.
Okay, so there's no any room to can do the clause by clause for the D list today. It's only this. We can only do the C list because once we've adopted the C list, we must then go for printing for the clause by clause.
Yeah, it has to go to the printers, and then so that even if there are changes on the C list now, then they are able to effect those changes with the printers.
Okay. Thanks very much, members. I'm putting for guidance on to allow the Chief State Law Advisor to present the amended two issues, or they can read all the clauses. And I think because we've already read into record adopted, can I solicit guidance? Or let me just get state law advisors to raise, if I'm correct, to seek guidance on the two issues.
Thank you, Chairperson. It is Sarah Gabata from the Office of the Chief State Law Advisor. Good afternoon to you and the honorable members. Chairperson, we will be in a position to read the changes that were made at the last meeting, or should the committee require that we read the entire C list into the record, we will also be in a position to do that. However, our understanding is that subject to the amendments which have been made at yesterday's meeting, the other clauses contained in the list of proposed amendments have actually been read, but we will be guided by the committee in this regard.
Okay, thanks. So what I wanted just for members to guide as to whether they can read only the amended clauses as we have taken decision, because the others has already been read into record. Members, can I get guidance before we allow them?
Chairperson.
Ross, yes.
Chairperson, I agree that we just read the changes that we made now.
Okay.
I also second Ross on the basis that on Friday we're going to do clause by clause. So it's better today just to look into those issues that we have raised previously only. And then as when we'll interact with the whole work when we do clause by clause on Friday.
Okay. Noted. Seconded. Okay. I think Ms. Sore Kavenda, that's the position that will read only and adopt the C list on the issues we've discussed, and then we'll read clause by clause on Friday once the printing has been done. Thank you. Can you proceed?
Chair,
Or
Chair,
there's any
sorry, Chair.
Yes.
There was an issue of apologies.
Oh, yes.
It's only one
Sorry,
apology
apologies.
from my side. Ms. van
Yes.
der Merwe, she apologized. She didn't indicate the reason why.
Okay. Is that all?
Yeah, that's all from my side, Chair.
Okay. Can I check if parliamentary service? I know the standing apology of Mr. Njikela. Is there any apology, Daksha?
Yes, it's Talana, Chairperson. Ms. Daksha Kassan is, she's not available today, so I am the only legal advisor in this committee.
Okay, thank
From
you.
Parliament.
All right, thank you. Sari, any apology?
Thank you, Chairperson. From the Office of the Chief State Law Advisor, it is Ms. Aisha Johar, Mr. Rea Williams, and myself. No apologies. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Commissioner Miabza, I see challenges to the network.
I thank you, Chairperson. Good afternoon to you and the honorable members, and everyone attending the committee. I'm with Commissioner Love from the Commission side. The CEO may join us, but he's traveling right now. He may just be joining us late. We do have his team led by both Grenville and Maseko Shiburi. We are well covered. Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much, Director General, your legal team.
No, thank you so much, Chairperson. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to the honorable members, and also to the team from the IEC led by Commissioner Moepo. From our side, the Advocate Moses Malakate is attending with me, together with Mozi Njokwe and Senzo Zondi and Sia from the ministry. Apologies from the minister and the deputy minister. Thank you, Chairperson.
Okay, thanks very much. All apologies noted. We can now proceed with the presentation. Mr. Venda.
Thank you, Chairperson. The committee is directed to the proposed amendments contained in the C list, which Mr. Matonzi is currently displaying on screen and which I believe has also been circulated this afternoon. Chairperson, as it has been decided, we will only be presenting those issues which have undergone amendments as a result of the decisions by the committee. On page 2 of the proposed amendments, in relation to clause 3 of the bill, and the committee will recall that this clause 3 amends section 27 of the Act, which provides for the submission of lists of candidates, that is in respect of parties contesting an election. The amendment would be on page 3 of the bill, and that's with regard to paragraph CB. No, you can just scroll. Yes, you can just stay a little high. Clause 3, Eddie, still on clause 3? Yes, thank you. Paragraph CB will now read as follows. Form, in the case of a registered party not represented in the National Assembly or any provincial legislature, confirming that the party has submitted in the prescribed manner the names, identity numbers, and signatures of voters whose names appear. 1. In the case of an election of the National Assembly in respect of regional seats on the national segment of the voters' roll and who support the party, AA, totaling 15% of the quota for that region in the preceding election, we're nominating candidates for one region, or BB, totaling 15% of the highest of the regional quotas in the preceding election, when nominating candidates for more than one region, provided that where 15% of the highest of the quotas is not achieved, that the party may only nominate candidates for the region or regions as determined by the next highest quota, or 2, in the case of an election of a provincial legislature on the segment of the voters' roll for the province and who support the party, totaling at least 15% of the quota of that province in the preceding election, for which the party intends to nominate candidates. The next amendment was effected to clause 6 of the bill, which the committee recalls inserts part A, which provides for independent candidates. The provision that is being amended relates to the requirements for independent candidates to contest elections. And the paragraph A will now read, a completed prescribed form confirming that the that the independent candidate has submitted in the prescribed manner the names, identity numbers, and signatures of voters whose names appear 1. In the case of an election of the National Assembly in respect of regional seats on the national segment of the voters' roll and who support her candidature, AA, totaling 15% of the quota for that region in the preceding election, if intending to contest only one region, or BB, totaling 15% of the highest of the regional quotas in the preceding election, if intending to contest more than one region, provided that where 15% of the highest of the quotas is not achieved, that the independent candidate may only contest the region or regions as determined by the next highest quota. Or 2, in the case of an election of a provincial legislature on the segment of the voters' roll for the province and who support his or her candidature totaling at least 15% of the quota of that province in the preceding election, which the independent candidate intends to contest. Provided that an independent candidate who was elected to either the National Assembly or a provincial legislature as an independent candidate in the preceding election shall be exempt from this requirement. The next change on page 4 of the list of amendments, and this is with regard to the new clause on the Electoral Reform Consultation Panel. The changes that have been effected are reflected in 23.1. Slightly low, yes, thank you, Eddie. 23.1, within 4 months after the commencement of the Electoral Amendment Act 2023, the Minister must establish the Electoral Reform Consultation Panel. The next change that has been given effect to is on page 5. This is also with regard to 23, subclause 9. In order to establish and constitute the panel, the Minister must, and here the change is effected to sub B, in consultation with the Commission and after approval by the National Assembly, appoint 9 members to the panel from such nominated persons who satisfy the criteria specified in paragraph A. The next change also to 23 is on page 6 of the list of amendments. 13A will now read as follows. Should a vacancy arise in the panel, the Minister, in consultation with the Commission and after approval by the National Assembly, must fill the vacancy from the persons already nominated in the process contemplated in subsection 9A. Chairperson, those were the amendments that we have given effect to. With regard to the wording of the last 2 amendments, we have indeed considered the wording that was proposed by the committee at yesterday's meeting. However, should the committee require the input as to why the change was made or the wording that is used is in the Act, Parliamentary Legal Services will be in a better position to explain the parliamentary prescripts and the legal considerations which actually informed the wording that is before us and appears in the list of amendments that we have. Those were the changes, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Parliamentary Legal Service, is there any comment before members interact with the draft?
No comment. It's Talana, Chairperson. No comment per se, Chairperson, but if the committee does want an explanation as to why 23.9b has been drafted in such a way, I can offer that explanation, but I'll take your guide from here, Chair, if you want me to offer that explanation.
Let's offer the explanation so that at least members don't ask questions, don't only come back.
Okay, no,
yeah, they'll just follow up on the issues you're raising. Thank you.
Sure, 100% Chairperson. So as Sarah expressed, the amendment to section 23.9b reads that when establishing the panel, the Minister will then appoint the 9 members to the panel in consultation with the IEC and after approval by the National Assembly. So this amendment reflects the resolution of the committee in yesterday's meeting that the panel must be established by the Minister, and that all executive, all administrative aspects regarding the panel should be assigned to the executive. However, the committee felt that due to the extensive work and the public participation involvement by the committee, that it should be actively involved in the appointment of the panel. That said, members, the amendment is drafted as such due to, like, as Sarah explained, a number of legal and drafting principles. The first principle, the first thing that I'd like to point out is that the amendment itself could not provide for in consultation with Parliament due to the constitutionality of such a provision. As members know, the executive and the legislature are two separate entities of government, and the in consultation part could infringe on the separation of powers. And further, this could lead to stalemates from both entities. It was therefore proposed that the sentence should read in consultation with the ISC after approval by the National Assembly. So precedents for this drafting style can be found in acts such as the Human Science Research Council Act and the ICASA Act. The second issue is that we could not provide for after the approval of Parliament, as Parliament obviously contains two houses, the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces, so we had to be specific. Thirdly, we have not stated after approval of the Portfolio Committee, as the Portfolio Committee does not take decisions per se, it makes recommendations to the National Assembly, and the National Assembly will then approve those recommendations. And legal support for this can be found in interpreting sections 53 and 57 of the Constitution. And furthermore, the PC is an extension of the House, so we don't have to explain that flow of process. So this explains the reasoning behind that amendment, and we do hope that the committee is in agreement. I hope I was clear.
Thanks, Daksha. Can I invite members to comment on before we run for consideration of the C list? I'll invite Honorable Ross, Honorable Pillay, Honorable Molekwa, Honorable Mokhale, Honorable Lokwase, Honorable Tito, Honorable Modise, and Honorable Bongo. In that order, Honorable Ross.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think this fairly represents what we agreed yesterday. And so I'm happy with these changes, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Pillay.
Thank you very much, Chair. I want to support that this is a true reflection of what we have deliberated on, and all of the amendments as recorded is correct, and I have no issues with it. We can move on to adopt.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Molekwa.
Thanks, Chairperson. I think I agree with Honorable Pillay. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mokhale.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. No, our views remains the same with regards to the issues that we raised yesterday, Chair. So there's no change on our part. Our views remain the same.
Honorable, okay. Noted, Honorable Tito. I think it's the same. Honorable Modise.
Thank you, Chair. All amendments as presented are correct, and I move for the adoption of the C list. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Bongo. Advocate Thomas Bongo. Okay.
Hello. No, thanks, Chair. Thanks, Chair. I think the legal people have done some great work in terms of aligning what was the intention of what we wanted to see happening. I think I'm quite happy with the way things are now properly worded. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you get a mover for the adoption of the C list?
I move, Chair.
Advocate Bongani Bongo has moved for the adoption of the C list. Second.
Seconded, Chairperson.
Seconded, Honorable Molekwa. Any objection to the?
Yes, Chairperson, please note the objection of the EFF.
Noted, Honorable Mokhale. Thanks very much.
Chairperson?
Yes, Honorable Ross.
Chair, as much as we agree to the amendments today, we still reject the C list as a whole.
Noted, Honorable Roos. Members, we have appreciated the presentation as a reflecting our discussions on the amendments. We appreciate the good work from the members of the committee on the areas where we've agreed, and also appreciate different views expressed. That's an indication of the process of our work as members of parliament on different views that we carry on the issues that we ought to influence in the processing of decisions. And also thank members, Chief State Law Advisor, for crafting, as reflected by the committee, the Parliamentary Legal Service, this then carrying us an adoption of the C list. Then we'll therefore reconvene on Friday to deal with the adopt the clause by clause, the D list, and the report of the committee. From here, Mr. Matonzi, can you assist the committee to, or the Chief State Advisor, what then going to be a process now that we've adopted formally the list? Not sure whether it's Daksha or Ms. Governor.
Hello, Chair.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. From here now, I'm sure you did also explain the process. Then it's just the conclusion of the D list, and then we meet on Friday, and then we go clause by clause, and then we adopt the report of the committee and also adopt the D bill, and then we are done on this processing of the bill. Okay. Then it will have to go to the National Assembly for debate or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. No, thanks very much for that outlined process. What will leave you with, Mr. Matonzi? We request you to assist us to get to a session with the legal team of IEC, Parliamentary Legal Services and State Law Advisor, and Home Affairs legal team to deal with the matter that was raised to the committee formally of the Commissioner Miabza. If we can facilitate that meeting, so that on Friday, when we at least we have a sense of what that meeting could have interacted with and brief the committee. Will that assist us to respond to the issues that were raised by the Commissioner, Mr. Matonzi?
You mean, Chair, for us to the legal service to meet before Friday?
Yes, we can meet tomorrow morning.
Okay, tomorrow.
I'm available. We can meet tomorrow morning. You just interact with them, and then you will give us you'll give us time.
All right.
Yeah, I think that is fair, Daksha, State Chief State Advisor and Advocate Malekate, and Commissioner Miabza. Will that assist us? Let me start with Commissioner Miabza.
Chair, I appreciate that, and I think it is important. I'm almost sure that our team will be ready to do that, but I'll confirm with them in a moment. It'll be very useful, in my view, to look at the concerns we raised yesterday. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. The Director General, will it assist us?
No, we'll do Chairperson through our legal team. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Legal Service, Daksha.
Thank you, Chairperson. It's Talana, and yes, that will be that's doable. We are in communication with the IEC and the DHA as it is.
That's perfect. I think that goes also to Ms. Govender.
Yes, Chairperson. Should we be required, we will avail ourselves, and we will wait to hear from Eddie in this regard. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. No, thanks very much, colleagues, for appreciating our request to look on other issues differently. Mr. Matonzi, is there an announcement? Or any
No,
other
there's no
matter?
other announcement. There's no other
Okay.
announcement.
Okay, thanks very much, colleagues, for this short meeting to consider the C list. We really appreciate the time you've created, and our meeting stand adjourned.
Chairperson, thank you very much.